Yo, what's up everybody? So back in December, Rocket League tweeted that they were going to update us on what the plan going forward on the game and everything. And today we actually got some news about that. They said they're gonna fix smurfing. So let's see what they have in store. All right, this is the article here. As we're full month into the new year, it's time for Rocket League's first game. All right, I don't want to read all the filler. New minimum level for competitive playlists. All right. So right now it's level 10 and you don't really even need to do it because if you're in a party with someone, it's bypassed. We've seen a lot of community chatter lately around allowing players to bypass the minimum level required to play competitive playlists by partying up with other players. Smurfing is something that we know is frustrating. Dude, that just sounds like, I don't know, it just sounds like corporate speak, you know, where they're like, actually, we're going to have to fire you and send you to jail and prison. We're gonna steal your family from you. Don't worry, you're allowed to file a complaint first. I just think it's so lame to say we know it's frustrating. It's not just frustrating. It ruins the actual game that you should be wanting us to play. The people feel like you don't take it seriously. You saying, oh, we know it's frustrating, doesn't really help. I don't know. It doesn't really feel like they care that much. Smurfing is something that we know is frustrating, so we wanted to share a bit of the design philosophy behind the original decision and why we are making some changes to tomorrow's update. Alright, the competitive minimum level requirement was introduced when Rocket League was playable for free in 2020 and was meant to serve a couple purposes. While we wanted to make it more difficult to smurf, one of the main goals was to make sure that new players were not blocked from playing with friends. The casual experience back then was rife with early quitting and was considered by many as a less enjoyable experience. I mean, that's true, but whose fault was that? It's so weird. Okay, so we're gonna ruin ranked because playing casual is terrible? That's such a weird logic to me. So it kind of shows you where their motivation is or was. That if they're willing to kind of destroy the competitive integrity of the competitive playlist to make it easier to get new people into the game, they don't really care. So I guess all the people who are hey, I want to get my friend into the game, but I don't want to just make a new account, play with them and smurf on everyone. I don't want to ruin the experience for everyone. Rocket League's kind of saying, well, we kind of don't care if you do. That's the way we think is the best way to play the game, is to smurf with people who are playing new for the first time. That's a weird thing to say, man. And I know they went on to kind of fix the casual game, the casual mode a bit, but they could have done that a lot earlier. What was the point of casual back then? I don't know, man. This kind of gives me more questions than it answers. We therefore made the decision to let players experience Rocket League in the best way possible at the time with friends in the competitive playlist. So I guess they're just confirming what I was thinking there. At the time, we also started to make changes to the casual playlist with the goal of making it an equally enjoyable experience to competitive play. We now feel we've reached that goal, and because of that, our thinking has changed around the need to allow players to bypass competitive minimum level requirement. All right, this is I see the logic here, but hasn't that change happened a long time ago? Casual's been fixed for a minute. Why wasn't the update with casual being fixed? Why wasn't there an update to the smurfing then? It's been a year, I think, almost? I don't know. It feels like it's been a long time. Anyways, let's read on. In tomorrow's update, the competitive minimum level requirement will be raised from level 10 to level 20. That's an improvement. And now every player in a party will need to be level 20 or higher in order to queue in the competitive playlist. These changes are some of the several gameplay improvements we are working on this year to minimize behavior that can lead to unfair matches. I like how they don't even say we're gonna ban smurfs. They're just never gonna do that. I don't think if anyone has hopes of Rocket League one day banning smurf accounts or banning them from competitive or something that, it's just never gonna happen. The wording of this too is just so patronized. We're gonna minimize behavior. We're not gonna say we're gonna solve it, because I mean to be fair, you can't really solve no matter what you do, there'll always be some person who gets through, but you can get rid of large portions of smurfs if you did something an SMS requirement. You have to get SMS verification, so you have to have one phone number per account. That the downside to that is maybe kids who don't have a phone can't play competitive. So I guess that isn't great. I think you could do maybe like an SMS or pay wallet. If you weren't here before Rocket League went free to play, there actually was not that many Smurfs. People used to complain a bunch, but I can tell you from someone who played a lot during that period, you would occasionally run into Smurfs back then, but it was like nothing like it is now. Like it felt more infuriating back then because it was so rare. Like it would be like one in every like 20 games maybe. Like I went nights with it never playing a Smurf. Like that would never happen now. Okay, so if I had to like say what would I like to see Psyonix do, I would like to see them, I wouldn't mind seeing like every account have to re-enable ranked, because like this doesn't really get rid of the problem that there's like millions of Smurf accounts out there. Like there's so many Smurf accounts out there right now, and they're all past level 20. So like this isn't going to do that much. It's gonna stop people from being able to make a new account really quick. Like hey, let me just fire up a new account quick and then we'll like start smurfing again. It'll stop that, or at least slow that down, but it's not gonna do anything for like the ton of Smurf accounts out there right now. And like honestly, I really don't think it, I know this is kind of just like reading into it and speculating and stuff like that, but I don't think Psyonix really cares about Smurfs. Like I think this is like, because this just feels like the bare minimum, man. Like what could they have done for Smurfs to claim that they're helping that would be less than this? Like there's not a whole lot. So like this just feels like, okay, we're gonna pretend like we're doing something. I don't know. I think if my idea would be to make ranked paywall. So like the SMS thing works good, you know, for the people that do it. There are complaints that like, you know, like I said, like kids can't play it and like you might not have a phone number, whatever. But if you made it like a yearly payment, so you have to pay $10 a year to play ranked. That's not that much to where the people who play the game would be willing to pay the $10. Or even buy the like battle pass to play ranked. That would be all right. I don't know, because that would get rid of the people making like tons of accounts, and that would also get rid of all the old accounts. All the old Smurf accounts that are like out there that people use, share, whatever, would not be able to play ranked without paying money. And that's what they want anyway, because they really like these Smurf accounts, because people who use them also buy items for their Smurf accounts, so they don't want to drive around stock tanks, because it's like advertising that I'm a Smurf pretty much. I just started playing Overwatch lately, and it's kind of insane what you have to do to play Overwatch ranked. I haven't even unlocked yet. I have 20 hours in Overwatch, and I have not unlocked ranked yet. Let me bring up what Overwatch requires to play ranked. All right, so if you want to play Overwatch ranked, there's a few things you have to do. You have to make a battle.net account, which is like the equivalent of like an Epic account. And I remember making that. It took me 30 minutes. The CAPTCHA was insane. I do not think like Sonic should implement that CAPTCHA. You had to do like math problems with numbers written out and then dice, and then like add it all up to a certain number, and then pick of 12 different options to like add up, and like, oh, it has to all be 17. You're like, okay, so it's 17. You add up all the like dice and numbers. It takes you about like 10-15 seconds. You'd think that's not that big of a deal, but you have to choose from 10 different options. So it takes a long time. You have to do the math for all those to figure out which one is which. And then after that, you have to do 11 more or whatever it was. It was insane. It took me like a half hour. Anyways, that's just a CAPTCHA just to prove you're not a bot. More relevant point, is that it requires like an SMS verification. So you can't make an account to even get into Overwatch without SMS verification. You're like, okay, well, that's good. You know, that's gonna like weed out a lot of like spam bot accounts and stuff like that. But you're like, all right, but once I get an Overwatch, you can play. No, you can't just play ranked. You have to do like a tutorial and stuff, kind of similar to what Rocket League requires, like the opening thing. But also, in order to play ranked in Overwatch, you have to win 50 matches. And like a match takes like 10-15 minutes sometimes. If you're just starting the game, your win rate's gonna be like 30% because you're bad at the game, you know? So you have to, a rough estimate, play like 100 to 150 games to even unlock ranked. Like there's no way you're playing with some friends and like, oh, well, I'm too high ranked. Let me just boot up another account, or let me get a backup account to play with you guys, you know? I'll spend the next month making one, man. Because I've been grinding this game, playing it a lot. I'm at like 20 hours and I have 33 wins or 36 wins last night. So there's no way I'm ever smurfing in Overwatch. I guess more to my point with Rocket League, like, I don't think they even have to make it that psychotic, because like Rocket League's a more, I don't want to say like casual game, but it's a game that you can like, anyone can pick up and get the feel for it, and we want to like get people in to try it. But I don't think the amount of people that come in and play Rocket League and try it and have fun is going to be more than the amount of people that like leave or just like quit playing the game or trash the game on social media or complain about the game sucking and all being Smurfs, being like a minefield of Smurfs that make the ranks destroy. Because like, say you're like, I've got Grand Champ already, I'm not like that worried about getting it, but say you're like Champ 3 and like you really want to push for Grand Champ, that's like where a lot of the Smurfs are. It's just like smurfing their friends from Champ 3 into Grand Champ. But say you like want to do it the fair way, you want to like play the game, you're getting better, you're training, you're grinding, and like you're just getting stomped down back into like Champ 2 every time you go to play it. And these are people who played the game for a long time. Like, you're just gonna quit the game. You're not gonna want to play the game anymore. I don't know. Like, this is, I guess in conclusion, this is a good step in the right direction. I hope they continue to do more. Like, I hope their mind's kind of changing on. I think that's like the biggest disappointment, is like how little they care about everyone's experience in Rocket League. Like, it seems like they just don't really care. And that's pretty sad, because I think it's a good game, and I think it'd be fun if they could keep the people that join the game. I think like fixing smurfing would do a lot to keeping people invested in the game that try it out, not just like getting them in by their friends being Smurfs and then, you know, they leave after they play on their own because they're just getting stomped. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.